Hello, I am Luos, and in this part of the VFX Overhaul videos I'm just gonna add more sparks. And that should basically be it. We have the ground spark here, and I actually want to open the other one as well, the impact, the one that I made in the previous video. I still need to add some bounding boxes, so I'm gonna do that real quick. And I'm just gonna give it a general value of -5000 to 5000. It really depends on what you need, but for testing this should be more than enough. And I kind of want to make the sparks a little bit smaller still, so just gonna subtract one from each, and that should be enough, I hope. And so I'm gonna do with this. Hopefully that won't mess it up too much. And I'm gonna do it, well, sort of the same with this one. Perhaps I'm gonna keep these values and I'm gonna change this value here. Just give it a bit more variation. And they should look a little less hot doggy than they were before that way. There. Actually, the small sparks might need to be a little bigger, in my humble opinion. So let's try 4, 5. Maybe a random semi-higher value like 9. There, that makes those a little bit more visible. And I want to do the same with this, actually. So I know I just butchered them, but let's say 4 to 9 as well. There, that should help. Okay, so I want to add more sparks to the ground effect. I basically want to add sparks on each time that a mesh appears, one of the spike meshes. So to do that, I'm actually going to use some events. I'm going to save this one real quick and highlight the ground crack effect, and just export this emitter. And now we have this effect over here. I am going to only highlight the spikes and the sparks for now, and get an event generator going. I actually already made one, I remember. I properly set it up, so I'll do it again, just so you can see what's going on. I'm gonna get an event generator, and in this case, every time it spawns, expand all, it should just send out an event. And that's going to be going to the sparks. So I'm going to give it a custom name. I'm just going to call it spawn. It doesn't need any other options in here. So now I can go and create an event receiver. And that receiver should be named spawn. And it should only be generated on spawn. There we go. And now each time spikes emits, it should start spawning something. I need to add a value, of course. So let's say 20 for now. Now every time this mesh spawns, it also spawns some sparks, as you can see. I wouldn't be able to really get the location or the orientation from that mesh, I can think. Impact factor, no. Sadly, I cannot do much with that. Inert velocity, that might not work. We can try. And I can basically live with it like this. Alright. So I do want to have a little bit more sparks at the end than at the beginning. And we basically don't need the regular spawn that's set up here, so we can remove that. And then we're going to change something in the event receiver spawn. I'm going to do a constant curve. And I'm going to add 2 of those. And basically at the beginning of the spike spawn, I basically want to have maybe 20, 25 particles, and about halfway in, we're just going to test a little bit. We might want to have 100. And there you go. Now the last one has much more particles spawned, as you can see. But this is always the same, and I kind of always love to have a little bit more variation. So I'm gonna actually change this to a float uniform curve. This gives you a min-max over time. So again, we're gonna add to, and I'm gonna expand them all, and this is a little bit longer. Let's see. At the beginning of the time, we want somewhere between 10 to 20 particles. And at the end, which is about 0.6, we want about 30 to 80 particles. And as you can see, there's a lot more at the end. And that should add some additional oomph. Though I want to still tweak those effects a little bit. I want them to have a lot more velocity, so maybe 1200, so that they're a lot more powerful. And I kind of feel like we should maybe change some velocities over time as well, so that there's a bit of a difference depending on where they are. So here we go again. We're going to go with a vector uniform curve. And we're going to add to, expand all, and at the beginning, well, let's say, sadly you can't really do a min-max. That's kind of sad though. No. Let's see, we want a minus 20, and about 400 to begin with. We can always tweak it later. And a 20, I have no idea, 500 here. And as you can see, that the velocity is now totally different and dulls down even at the end, so we need to change that. We're gonna go with another minus 50, and then maybe 1500 and 1200. Let's see. You might want to tweak this value to 0.6 there. You might also tweak the cylinder. There's a positive Z we could maybe add. You might be able to remove the surface only, which should maybe, I'm just tweaking some values here. Let's just keep it at that. What if I change this value to like 100? Way too extreme. 10 and 50 might work. I do think that there are too many sparks at the moment. We're going to lower that value quite a bit. 5 to 10. And at 0.6 maybe 20 to 40. This should look a little bit better. And we're going to tweak the curves a little bit. The spawn count is the one we want to change. Though I just want to add a curve to both of them. Alright, let's see. Let's go back to the initial velocity. And maybe make this one even stronger. That might look okay. I also want to change the lifetime. So again, with a uniform curve, because we want a lot more variation on the birth and death. Let's see, this should be about 0.6 and the lifetime somewhere between 0.32 seconds and 1 second here. And at this point, you might want to go for 0.66 to 1.5 seconds. That way they last a bit longer. I do think that the drag could maybe have some change as well. 2 to 4. Nah. 1 to 1.5 maybe. That might work. I do feel like I might want to change the cylinder to a sphere actually, but we'll see. Size by speed is fine. constant acceleration is fine. I'm just thinking here, let me just change to a sphere. That might actually look a little bit better. It's a bit too powerful, I think, but you can always change these values to 120. Let's see, surface only, might that help? No. Negative C is useless. My initial feeling is that it needs some bit of more variation between the height and the lower ranges. So 500 here, maybe 200. It gives a bit more randomness. And we could do the same for these ones, 200 to 500, and again, let's tweak the curve. Okay. There you are. It's just a little bit of a tweak, but it can help. Alright, and since that the last one is pointed a little bit more forward, which actually might change a bit the initial rotation, I do feel like we need to tweak the forward Y momentum a bit more. So 200 maybe, 400, 1200, because I don't see much changing. Okay, that looks better. And we're gonna do the same with this one to about 150 in the beginning. There. That feels much better. Anything else I want to change? Not much in this case. I'm gonna remove some values here. And I want to play around with the initial mesh rotation here. I'm actually gonna screenshot it real quick so that I remember the values. I'm too lazy to write them down. So I'm just gonna save this image on another monitor. And change the uniform curve. Expand all. We need 2 more, expand again. And the initial distribution is O.1 minus O.3. And this is O.05, 0, O.3. And this should be about O.6. So as you can see, at the moment they are all pointing more upwards. There's still variation, and I do want to change that of course at the end, but this shows you what you can do. But even the initial rotation, you can have quite some cool things where the spikes in the beginning are way more chaotically rotated. Where the attack should hit, you have much more control over the angle. Or the other way around, depending on what you want. So I do know that I want some rotation, but not as much. So like minus O.2 might work. To O.2. And rotation maybe O.02, O.2, and O.05 maybe. And this looks somewhat cool. Now what I can do is maybe add another location module here, a small cylinder, just a small radius. We can actually increase that radius over time if we want to, again with a constant curve, so why not? Expand all, and at the beginning it should be rather straightforward from where it's coming, so we only want a low value like 10. And at the end we might be able to get a much wider radius, like 50. That way at the beginning it's much more concentrated, and then it expands out a little bit more, as you can see. Now, I do like the way these spikes are going, but there's so much randomness going on in the variation that sometimes it looks really cool the way they are located, and at other times they just look like a clunky mess. So there are a few ways we can try and control that, and that's through seeds. And that's quite a long and confusing thing, especially with so many random things. But I think the more important one is the initial mesh rotation. That one is actually the main reason why things are cluttered together or expanded out. So we're actually going to try and create that to a seeded by converting it to a seed. And then we have random seeds, and each value is something different. And we want to remember each of these values that look cool. So first off, I'm going to give it a random parameter name. There's no need for it really, but I just like to make sure that's not set to none. And get seed from instanced, and I think this should do it. And to try that, we're actually gonna add 2 different values here. And it should be different each time, as you can see. Now comes the really annoying part in working with seeded. There's no way to tell really which one is which until you try them. And I want at least 3 different cool looking ones. So let's try it with 0 and make sure that it looks cool. So I'm not really liking the spikes at the end. I'm not too worried about the spikes here, but it's definitely the ones in the end that are really important. So I'm gonna try 2 and 3, 4. That one actually looks okay. As you can see, it should be somewhat the same each time. There might be a little bit of difference because of the location modules, but the spikes are always somewhat pointing at the same direction, and that's what I want. And I think I can sort of live with that. I do feel like I want them to be a little bit higher nowadays. Let's try minus 30 to minus 40. And minus 20 to minus 30. That way they should always be a bit higher. And let's see. I'm not really liking this very long low one. So sadly, we have to go to another seed. 5. Too clumpy. 6 looks fine. Now we need to try it a few times. Every time you press spacebar, you can restart it. And so far I'm liking it. Sometimes it's a little bit clunky, but generally it moves okay. So we're gonna save that one, and I'm actually gonna write that down here for now, so we can move on. 7, meh, 8, looks okay as well, I think. Okay, I can live with that one as well. Now we need at least one more. So try 9, too similar, 10, 11, 12. That one actually looks interesting. Let's play around with it a few times. Yeah, I think I can live with that. So that's 12, 8, and 6. So 12, 8, and 6. Oh, 6. There, and each time it spawns, it will take those saved seeds of the rotation. That results in a much more solid effect. Artists do like some randomness to it, but we also want to have some control over the end results, of course. I mean, sometimes it does not look good, and that's frustrating. You want it to look as good as possible each time. Now, I could add like 10 more seeds to add more randomization, but I don't think that's really needed. Okay. Now, let's see what this looks like in the level. I have it loaded, so let's try. I'm not seeing any sparks. That's odd. It might have to do with me not having any bounding boxes yet, so there we go. It sometimes helps to generate the bounce. So set fixed bounce and then add the value. That way it generally doesn't need any reboots or has any bugs in case you encounter some. There. And now it should hopefully work. Please work. That's really odd. It's looking fine in here, minus the sparks. So I'm gonna try from a few different angles in case it's a bounce issue, but I'm a bit confuzzled. Are there any moving on the bottom? No, that's really odd. That's something I haven't encountered before. Particle name, spike sparks. Event generator is spawn. And everything seems to be fine. That's a rather odd thing. Then again, I'm not too surprised with event generators in Cascade, but it should at least work, you know? Let me try with the floor. All is working as it should. I'm gonna save it, and perhaps I need to reload the particle in the blueprint, though that generally is not the case. Let's see. Play animation. It's actually in the animation, so are you working in here? Somewhat. Though not perfectly either. Either. That's really odd. And they're not falling through the floor? No. What else can I check? Required, and let's change the emitter duration to 2. That might help. And see what that does. Hopefully it fixes it. It's really odd that they are not showing at all in here. How are you doing in the animation? They are somewhat showing, but not all of them. I'm really confused by this. I think it's time to restart Unreal Engine 4 and take it from there. So I'm gonna stop the video. So I noticed something really weird when testing the effect in the viewport. And for some reason, the sparks are here. That's really weird. And now I need to find out why this is happening. So I'm gonna try and find that out for some reason. So there's no initial location really here, besides whatever there's in the sphere, but that should be overwritten by event receiver spawn. We can try enable that value, but that actually makes them all spawn only at the center, as you can see. Which at itself actually looks like a cool effect, but I'm wondering what's going on. I can actually press. What else can I check? I can disable the sphere for a second and hope to see any difference here. But that's not it. Constant acceleration, drag, size per speed. The only thing I can think of is that the event receiver spawn is messing up. but it isn't. And it shouldn't need local space. We can try that actually. Does that fix it? That's weird. Normally that shouldn't be a problem. And it's still not properly fixed because freaking screens. Set this to local space. But it's not doing anything. And if I do enable local space, it's actually like this. So I can't use local space, but it's not showing the particles here, but all the way over here. And I'm a bit confused on why. I'm gonna make a GIF out of it real quick. Oh. Obviously that's not visible because I selected the wrong thing. There. I do some Giazo again. There we go. All right. That's something I'm going to show to the Epic devs because that's really weird and not something I'm sure I can do something about. If I change this to local space, will they appear as well? No, they are fine. That's really odd. The correct should be local space and kill on complete. These should be actually be kill and complete, etc. Distortion for now as well, though I still need to tweak it. Use local space and kill on complete, and these ones could actually use local space and kill on complete as well. So saving it again. But does it show the sparks? At the wrong location because it's set to local space. Let's see. It's not working because now they're here again. Okay, I'm gonna report this bug thingy, and not sure what I can do about it actually. We'll see. Okay, guess there's not much I can do about that for now, so I might need to get a workaround to make them spawn at those locations, which isn't too hard, but it's definitely annoying. Disabled event spawns, but they are still doing their thing for some reason, which is really odd. Why are you still doing a thing? Do I need to actually delete it? Yes, also something I should probably talk to somebody about. I'm gonna post that real quick. Even when you deactivate a event receiver, it's not activated, not deactivated. Okay, so workaround. I do want that event receiver thingy to be around, so I'm just gonna create a new particle system, disable it, and move the event receiver to that one if UE4 allows me, because this is so broken as hell. There we go. Gonna be really fun to get that back to the right emitter, but oh well. So now it's not spawning anything, so we need to change that, of course. And I'm probably gonna do that through a burst. But for that we need to change the initial location constantly, which is gonna be fun. So luckily we have some information we can grab from the spikes, and the end is 850. So we can actually use that in the sphere. But we need to change it to a constant. Constant curve should be enough. So there we go. Expand all, and at the end it should be on 850. There. We should be about 0.6 in, I think. And for now, just test it with a high spawn rate, just to see what's going on. Okay, that seems about right. And we almost generally have like 7 spikes or so. I'm gonna slow down that effect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Jeebus. Okay, let's merge those as one. So that's 10. Not gonna be fun at all. 9, 10. I really don't like this, but okay. So 5 to 10, 6 to 11. I have no idea. Oh wait, it's 11. 6 to 5, 11 to 6 for now. Then 15 to 10. I have no idea which values I need really here. So 20 to 10, 30 to 15. Just random values really. 50 to 20. Actually, I want to keep that a bit lower. 40 to 15 again. 40 to 20. 45 to 20. 50 to 25. And the last one should be about, I have no idea, let's just do 80 to 40. Uh, 10 through, so 0, 0.06, 0.0, 0.12, 0.18. I think my dog hurt itself a little bit, but she seems alright. 2, 4. I don't want to do this anymore. 36. 0.42 and 0.55, just whatever. Okay, that's not really timed. This timing is way off, so I'm just gonna add a very high value in here so I can actually see when it's spawning. And I want to see when that's proper. Okay, that could work. I want to see it in slow motion once again. It's not perfectly timed. I really don't like this. Sphere, where are you? There. Need to move this forward a little bit. A little less. And then I need to tweak the timing still. So let's see, 0.5. I'm gonna move a little faster. And I still need to move this forward a little bit. I guess. Where are you? Okay, 1200 is too much. 1000. Okay, that seems about right. Full speed. I'm not fond of two of those meshes actually being at the same location sometimes. I probably want to unwrap it again at some point as well. So let's hope that this actually works in here, else I've been doing it all for naught. Seems to be about right. Okay, I can live with that for now, I think. Okay, I'm gonna delete that one, check and play. I do feel like there needs to be a few more sparks at the end. And they need to be a little bit more at the end. I do like the build-up of the amount of sparks, so that's fine. Let's see. About 100 units further away, and maybe a few more sparks. Here we go again. Spawn. I'm gonna up this one a little bit, and then just add a way higher number at this location. Now that we've got some sparks in, it might be nice to have some vector field applied to them so that they are moving a bit more chaotically. Not sure if it's gonna work, but who knows. And I don't have many vector fields currently, so I'm gonna use a nice tool called Vector Array Gen. And that's this tool. I'm not exactly sure what I want to make, but I just want to have some chaotic movement. And it's really cool for making vector fields. Let's see, I probably want something like quad swizzled subtraction. It's very cool that there are presets and you can make your own custom presets, so that's awesome. And if you click on a node, you can actually see what's going on. And this somewhat works, but I kind of want to have something more random. I'm not sure what might be a good version for random. Let's just get a random. And a random basically does this. Where I start. Might be able to show you what they look like. Let me check it. It's been a while since that I play with it, so there we go. You can hide them. So this is basically what the vector field is currently doing, and this is the swizzle. And I kind of want to combine that, so I'm gonna get a lerp, interpolate, and combine those two. There we go. And let's refresh that to see what it does. And there's a little bit more nice chaotic swing to it, and I can tweak the interpolate to be more like the swizzle or the random. And maybe something like 8 works. We can try to add one more thing. Let's get a constant rotational helix. And that basically does this. I don't want it to move upwards that fast, so one might work. And let's see. We can cross, interpolate, multiply, select. Abstract. We can try multiply for now. there, and that does this. Not that interesting, so let's try something else. And try it across. And that basically does this. Which is okay, but I do like the rotation. So maybe I'll just interpolate it again with this rotation. And that will do this. And I kind of want to tweak the value a bit. Okay, this is more rotation. I kind of want less rotation, so maybe something like that. Maybe a bit higher. Refresh it one more time. And that looks like something quite interesting. We change the vector settings, so we can change the max file size, and that will change how many small points there are to tweak the vector field. So let's try 260. There we go. And as a result, it will mess up a little bit. Maybe a little bit higher. There's still somewhat going on. I'm not sure if that's intended or just a bug, actually. I think it might be a bug. Then again, this is a rather old version. I still haven't updated it. Sorry, Nick. Let's see, vector settings, color size, it's all the same. Okay. That looks fine. And now I need to save this vector field. Oh, I apparently had a few more, but okay, that's fine. I kind of showed off the tool, which is neat. It's a very cool tool. Okay, I'm going to call it vector field underscore ground crash 01 and save it. And now I should be able to import it in here with ease. Open the content browser and get a vector field going. New folder, vector field. And I should probably just try and import it in here. There we go. Now we have a vector field. Let's save it. I'm not sure if you can actually click on it. You can actually click on it. You can set it and change the intensity. That for now 1 is fine. Let's go to the particle system. The ground crack one. And the spike sparks are the GPU particles, so we can add a vector field to that. A local vector field. And we only have one, so as you can see, it's quite small, so we need to tweak that value, and it's a bit more horizontal aligned. So maybe we can go with 30 for that one. That might work. Also with the width, we can make it a little bit bigger. 2, maybe 1.5. And let's do the same for Z. Alright, now we can easily move it up and down. There. A bit more to the right. Okay, we can make it maybe make it a little bit bigger on the Y still. 3.5 should work. That's better. And we can still make it a little bit higher in here. So there we go. And now we need to actually tweak those values. So intensity, I'm not sure yet. The tightness is a 0 to 1 scale. So if I do like 10, you can't even see because it's so tight. And 0.1, you can already see that it's not behaving the same way. And if you increase the intensity, then like 1000. Maybe it's the other way around. No, definitely not. There we go. Let's try 5000. As you can see, the sparks are definitely behaving differently. If I set them to 1, then they behave rather erratic. 0.2 is already too intense as well. 0.1, 0.01 seems to be better. I would still like to have the gravity making them fall down a little bit more though, so who knows. Maybe like 0.005. Could work. And worst case, I could actually try and move them down a bit more. Maybe like -1. And that might actually be a bit better in this case. So export the vector field, the same name again. And I've never tried to re-import a vector field, so let's try that. And as you can see, it's now moving down quite a bit. So that's what a vector field can do for you. I'm just gonna translate that to much less, like -0.2. And see what it does. Might need a little bit more. Double click, -0.4. That feels a little bit better already. And let's export that vector field. And re-import it again. Re-import. There. Now we could add a little bit of vector field rotation. I'm going to show you in a second what that looks like. And at the moment you can't see the vector fields until you turn them on. And I'm afraid that might have crashed Unreal Engine 4 in this case. Oh no, there it is. Quite a few. It's still loading something though, who knows. Anyways, the vector field rotation rate, I'm going to rotate it on the y-axis, so 0.1. As you can see, it's behaving totally different now. If I do like 1, it's way more chaotic. 200, and yeah, you get the point. So I'm not sure if that's really. Let's try rotating it on the x-axis, so just a little bit. Oh, that's a little bit too much. 0.1 -0.1. Why is both? Oh, there we go. I'm really liking where they are going. That looks a little bit better actually. Maybe a bit too much though. Okay. And it still feels like the tightness is too strong. So let's see without the vector field actually in the screen. What does it look like in here? Hard to see with this background, I agree. It looks somewhat okay. I still think that it might be too strong. Also, I forgot to set the widget reflector too high again, so this should be much more readable for you. There. See if I can make that vector field a bit bigger in here as well. Vector settings, density can be fine. What can we do here to make that a bit less strong? We might want to go a bit more for the cross instead of the rotation. And I kind of want to lower. I do want to make sure that the density is still 20 though, but what did this look like? Okay. Cool thing is wherever I click I can export, so I can actually try a few other things. I want to try one last thing. It looks somewhat okay-ish. So I'm gonna get an interplate again. I'm just goofing around. I have no idea what I'm doing, to be honest. And see what this does. And I kind of like it. It's very stupid, chaotic, but that might be just what we need. Alright, I'm gonna try and export that again. Export vector field. Ground crash. Yes. And report this effect. And that feels a little bit better, I think. Well, maybe we should go for a little bit lower effect as well. So 1500. That looks better. All right. That seems about where I want it to be. I still need to tweak the fire so much more, but that's for tomorrow maybe. I'm gonna save this, check it one more time in here. And that looks fine in my humble opinion. It's nice and sparky. I might add some other things still. But for now this looks fine. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I'm gonna call it a night. Everybody sleep well and have a good night. Take care.